Hi.
Other action figures each sold separately. From
Record the purr.
Jenny, get the door. It must be Cousin Willie. Okay. Hi. What's up?
Ah, there we go. Something chill to watch. The following video is rated R and is intended for an adult audience. So if you're under 18, take a fucking hike, eh? As this video may contain adult themes and situations, strong language and opinions, good and bad advice, cannabis cultivation and consumption. So as long as you're a responsible adult, kick back, spark one up, and enjoy the show. It's dinner time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop the bee. We don't have dabs right the frick away. Hello, everybody. The fan kicked on right as I got in here. How is everything sounding? Is the music too high? Is the music too low? Is the microphone okay? Can you hear me over this friggin' big fan going off in the background? Hi, everybody. Can of Beard Grows here. Friday night, man. It's Friday night gardening. What the heck are you doing here? Wasting your time with me. How you doing? Yeah. So, tonight, we're going to look at the jungle that's been going on. I've had to even do a little bit of taming, a little bit of off-camera taming. This plant in the corner got too friggin' tall. It got too tall. I literally had to rope it down and yank it over a whole bunch, and within like hours, it went right back up like that. So we got this nice big S-curve going on in this one to keep the tops kind of relatively all at the same height. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But if you guys looked at the thumbnail, you know what's kind of going on. I'm sure most of you know what's going on, but I want to bring this in here for a little bit better of an analysis here. So there's these little rust spots on a couple of the leaves on a couple of these plants. Not many. Now, I am terrible, absolutely terrible at identifying deficiencies and toxicities and stuff with my naked eye. Like just looking at it and going, oh, that's that, right? I had to look it up. And from my looking up research, I've come to the conclusion that it's probably a calmag issue. It usually is, but that alongside with some yellowing is pretty indicative of a calcium magnesium deficiency. Audio is fine. Good. Good. How you doing? Who was first in chat here today? Let's take a look at that here. I didn't call out first in chat here today during the live stream. Caladale. And then I'll be growing. Christina, Little Biscuit, Mr. Canamike, Jeff Gates. Hey, welcome. First time aboard here. The good ship Cannabeard. Haywood, Philly boy. What up? Shauna. Anyway, calmag deficiency is my best guess. I would love to know what you think and what would be the best method to addressing this. So, what I did do is double check. God, I'm not wearing my reading glasses right now, so I'm not going to be able to quote much of this for you. But I put some reading glasses on and got the lights in here good and read the frickin' It's like 2 mils per liter. 2 mil per liter is the suggested feeding for a reservoir. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? That's a lot. Dude, this is a 25-gallon thing here behind me. Let's look down. Whoop, right down there. This guy. The AirCube water reservoir system is 25 gallons full. It's probably about 21 gallons full right now. Let's be honest. It's not totally full, but it's not too low either. It's probably, like I said, about 25% here. I got a little bit of fresh water back there. Blah, touching the calmag. Anyway, that math tells me 2 mils per liter. There's about about 4 liters per gallon, and that's about 20 gallons. So that's a fucking lot. That's quite a bit. And I think I was definitely underfeeding the amount of calcium, magnesium I was pouring into the reservoir. So I used my newt needle. Where is it? Right here. This bad boy right here. Ow. Fucking hell. I hate this house. I hope we move into a better place. That's all I can say. I fucking hate this beam. There's a beam here, and I've smucked my fucking head on it. You don't know how many fucking times. It's a plumbing nightmare. Look at this. I have to duck in this room, or I fucking bonk my noodle. You better believe I've fucking done it my share of times. That's why I try to spend most of the time on this side of the fucking wall. Anyway, newt needle. If you guys need to inseminate a whale or get deep into your bottles and suck up an exact measured amount of nutrients, I highly recommend looking into this company called Newt Needle. I don't have a discount code or anything. Just straight up, I like them. I've been using this for a long time. It's been in my repertoire for years and years and years. Anytime I'm using a bottle like that, I have got one of these things so I can get a nice measurement. And then in combination with this bad boy here, the Trenchant pen, I've been keeping an eye on the ppms in there. I've definitely raised the ppms up. Let's see what it looks like right now. I'm curious. I've actually been it's been feeding, right? So in theory, it might even be a little low. It's almost water change time, so it might be a little low. It's between 300 and 400. It's bouncing between 300 and 400. I'd say that's a little bit low. I think it was around 500 when I did the water change. So it's definitely like consuming the nutrients or whatever like that. As the you'd also think that a little bit of evaporation, because it's fucking hot. It's mighty hot. The evaporation might play a little bit of a thing at play here. Sometimes plants just have birthmarks. They look healthy and full. They do. They do. A couple teaspoons to the reservoir. Yeah, I put a couple mils in there. I put like 20 mil or something, I think, last time. I didn't want to overdo it. I didn't necessarily do it to the exact amount of that, but I definitely raised it a bunch. Other people are saying to use foliar spray. How many of you use a sprayer like this, like the Canafogger or something of that nature, and then have like a couple of drops diluted in here and do a foliar spray? Should I be doing that? I could. I could do it right now. That's an easy task if that's something that's a good idea. I don't know much about foliar spraying when it comes to like calcium, calmags and stuff like that. I know some people swear by it. I've just never really dabbled in it. I think I've done it once or twice, but just sort of out of like, well, let's see what this does. Like, not really out of habit or anything, so I wonder. But I will say this. I really, really like the fact that with this watering system like this, with a reservoir that is flooding and draining every day like that, if you see a deficiency, like this calmag, probably calmag deficiency that's happening right now, I was able to spot it within a day or two and catch it right away as it was just starting to pop off on a couple of plants and address it by adding some more. So in theory, it shouldn't continue too much more as long as I'm about to do a water change tomorrow or the next day anyway. So yeah, this weekend, I always do it on the weekends, so it'll either be tomorrow or Sunday. I'll do a water change. I might even just do it tomorrow because they are getting hungry. So let's go take a look. Let's get a closer look. Speaking of getting hungry, let's get a closer look. And as we're getting into a closer look, you might notice that I have the lights off, but there's a good reason for that. They're just too powerful for the camera. So, might also take this moment to say thank you to today's sponsor. You know them, you love them, MARSHYDRO. This right here, this light that is currently being shown off here, this is the Fc8000. This is an absolute, or FCE, pardon me, 8000. This is an absolute monster, smart light, app controlled, just a monster, just a monster. It is too bright for this camera, so I turn it off when I'm filming, and that's just the way it has been for a very long time. But let me assure you that MARSHYDRO has been growing my plants for many years and will be for many years to come. So use my name as a code. Thank you very much, MARSHYDRO. I love you. That wasn't the MARSHYDRO code. Where did that thing go? Do I got 2 codes? I must have 2 codes. Anyway, there we go. So let's get in here and take a good look at what's actually happening here a little closer. There we go. So you can see there is some of that rust right in here. I've left some of it in here. I haven't been like taking it out, but I want to pop them off and show you. So these are definitely got that rusty curly thing going on. Look at that. Those are pretty bad, actually. They weren't this bad yesterday. That's actually pretty rough. I'm a little shocked and a little spooked at that. That's pretty heavy duty, hey? What do you think? Wow. Frick. Anyway, those leaves were already turning. There's definitely a few leaves in here that have the telltale signs. There's definitely a bunch of leaves in here that my cat's got. This is a cat. This is definitely a cat trim job right there, I can tell you. It looks like a grasshopper or something. It was definitely a kitty cat. Here's another leaf right here. So there's definitely a couple in there. It's not good. Not great. I'll give all these leaves to the chickens. The chickens love the leaves. I give all the leaves, all my trim to the chickens or the rabbits. But let's get in here and have a good close look and see what's what here. So, in the first row, weighing in at 5-gallon pots, coming in at the AIRCUBE. AIRCUBEs? Yeah, frick. I want to make sure I didn't say the right thing or the wrong thing. Coming in with these beautiful AIRCUBEs. By the way, there are links and discount codes below for these AIRCUBE setups. I am friggin' in love. I probably will not be growing in anything but this for quite a while. This is COCO. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Loving it, loving it, loving it. This is I think my new favorite way to grow. So this first row right here, 1, 2, and 3 are all Alien versus Triangle from Mephisto. You love them. You probably don't hate them because you probably love them because Mephisto fucking rules. Looking good. Even the little one right here that was looking really small is not looking fucking bad. I see a lot of tops when I go over top of this thing. And I'm seeing pretty healthy looking plants. I'm not seeing nutrient tip burns. I'm not seeing major yellowing. The lighting looks a little bit weird, but that's just kind of the camera and the shitty fluorescent bulb above it. I assure you they look a little bit more vibrant than they probably do look on camera, at least from where I'm standing. Yeah, they're looking pretty darn good. And then in the back row, unfortunately, only 2 out of the 3 seeds that germinated well are doing anything. As you see, we got a little marigold down there. Let's go in for a closer inspection of the marigold. I know you're all super excited to see how the marigold's growing. It's growing really well. It's hydrating like crazy. Tons of heads. Too much nutrients, so it just makes more flowers. It's not growing very big, but it is growing a lot of frickin' flowers. These 2 back in the back row here are Super Lemon Haze from I Love Growing Marijuana, or ILGM. Man. By the way, I forgot to mention this, but these Mephisto seeds I got from Coastal Mary Seeds. You can use my name as a code. That's Cannabeard25. And no, I can't give you any links. You're just going to have to Google them. That's Coastal Mary Seeds. Do your own research. Cannabeard25. Save you 25%. Back row was from ILGM. I do not have a discount code with them, but I love them and respect regardless. Go check them out. They got some good stuff. They got really good sales a lot. And I highly, highly recommend this Super Lemon Haze. Duh friggin' licious. Just phenomenal. Very, very, very happy with how everything is growing here. So I talked about this before, but I also disconnected this very front bar. Over at the end here, there's a daisy chain. They go, pop, 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 pop. I just unhooked this one bar because of the fact that there is sort of like some wasted space. It comes to about here, but this one bar that sits right about here is just off. This bar that comes right about here is on, so it's still getting at least the same amount of coverage as the back is. It just definitely doesn't get that reflective nature because I don't have another wall right here. Like the back will get a little bit better because of the reflective nature of the Panda film, or just the white walls in general, or reflective walls, whatever you're doing. White works just fine, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really, 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 really happy with this system. And for anybody that didn't know as well, I said it last time, but I'll mention it again. I switched the timer over to 3 waterings a day now. I might eventually switch it over back to a 4 watering a day as they go into flower and just start, you know, wanting more. You know, they're just going to get really, really hungry, and I want to be able to feed them as much as they want. So yeah, so far so good. I'm loving this space, loving this growing method, this system here with the reservoir right here, plumbed into this smart brain that floods this whole system and then drains it every once in a while, like on a timer, is just, it's a freaking dream way to grow. It is absolutely amazing. I'm so floored by it. I love soil. I will grow outside in soil to the end of time. But indoor, I might be a COCO perlite man with these air cubes from now on. This might be it. I might have found it. I don't know if I'll be swapping from this. I know that's saying a lot in the first run, but I really think I love it that much. I'm feeling it, man. It's like love at first sight. You know it when you feel it. You do. And I'm feeling it. For real. Once again, there is a discount code in the description for those AirCube systems from the company called Grow Ace. There's been a lot of YouTubers that have covered them, and I was scared of water. The reality is I was scared to use water as a growing medium for a long time. I just didn't want to. I wanted to use soil. It felt more organic. It felt more easy. It felt, I don't know, something, I just liked it. But the reality is soil is a lot of guesswork. It's a lot of like, well, I guess I put enough nutrients in. Well, I guess the pH in the soil is probably, you can kind of test some of these things, but it is much harder to test directly what's happening in soil. Whereas with a system like this, I got pH pens, I got parts per million wands, those big frickin' where did that thing even go? Huh? Oh, it's in there. It's in the frickin' water bucket. Anyway, I got much easier things that I can really easily test and see exactly. No guesswork. Not like, well, it's probably like this. I can tell you exactly where certain things are. I could even get CalMag test kits and test the water and find out exactly where my parts per million on CalMag is. So if I needed to up it or not, I can sort of like do it a couple times and get a good feeling of what works best, and then have a good, you know, mental note on how much I really should be using if that's what it wants. Anyway, a lot of it's just trial and error for that kind of things, but that's the point. Is if you see something going wrong, you can correct it in the water. You can do a water change. You can add more nutrients. You can take half of it out and add some new fresh water and rebalance it a little bit. You can kind of correct things on the fly because it doesn't stay in the medium for too long. It gets sort of like, because of the flood and drain kind of a setup, it floods it and then drains it away. So it allows you to fix things in between, kind of, on the fly a lot better. And I'm really starting to enjoy this way of growing. It makes a lot of sense coming out of an aquarium background, somebody that's done a lot of marine biology and fish tanks, planted tanks, and coral tanks and stuff. I really enjoyed that whole culture. And there is some, at least, crossover with this. This is sort of giving me some old fish tank vibes a little bit on some of it. And I like it. That's about all I got to say for that. Chris V, how you doing? How you doing? What varietal is the marigold? I don't know. I've got so many marigolds. I just named them like short. That one was, I believe, the short fire. I called it short fire because it was short and it was red, yellow, orange. There was some tall ones. I called them tall ones. There was ones that were just red. They're called red. There was ones that were just yellow. I called them yellow. I don't know. Past that, honestly. We had a whole bunch of marigolds this year, and I couldn't believe it. At a garage sale, I was talking about our marigolds and how we had grown a whole bunch and we were going to sell them to someone, and someone overheard me, and they said, I was just on my way to this place for marigolds. They charge this much. How much would you charge me? And I said, this much. And he says, okay, let's go look at your marigolds. And he looked at my marigolds and said, how much for the entire lot? And he goes, would $100 for everything do? And I said, yes, absolutely. I think I gave him a pretty good deal still because there was a lot there. But he bought all my marigolds, and a week later he brought back all of my containers, all of my trays with the things. He brought back all the plastic, all of it. And it was some of it was some nice trays. So I was kind of like, well, $100 is $100, whatever. It's a good deal. And he brought back all the trays. Good deal, good deal. I sold marigolds for $100. I couldn't believe it. There was a lot of marigolds there, though. Varieties. We got them all over the property, too. They're a good pollinator attractor. They're good for many reasons. Good for the chickens, blah, 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 blah. Nutrient varieties vary between cultivars. Absolutely. And that's actually part of a problem with something like this, because I'm growing a mixed grow. What is affecting the front row isn't really affecting the back row as much. The back row does not have that burnt leaf nature nearly as much as the front row. So I got to find some sort of medium where I raise it a little bit and give the front what it needs without overdoing whatever the back is enjoying. It's it's fun, but you know, if you just sort of keep track of what you've been doing and how it reacts, you can narrow it in pretty dang quickly, honestly. And I'm enjoying this setup. Yep, I am. So let me know in the comments below if you think it's something else, if you think calmag is the absolute correct way, if I should be doing some foliar spray to help really, you know, drive it in there quickly, if that's something that helps, you know, equalize it faster. I don't know. I'm a little bit new to some of that, so let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already. Double check that bell for notifications, because I do these live streams a lot. This was a live stream. And if you want to join in the live stream conversations, you got to hit that bell for notifications. Otherwise, it won't tell you when I'm live. You see how this works? God, it's hot down here. Even in my basement right now, which is underground, is still like just bleh. We got one room in the house that the air conditioner is managing to keep cool, and we've sort of got it quarantined off with like a tapestry across the doorway arch to kind of keep the cool in that one room. Otherwise, it was struggling to keep both rooms, and the rest of the house is fucking hot. So stay cool, everybody. Try to keep your plants cool. I have been putting ice in here for anybody that was curious about that. And I think that's it. Yep. Oh, I forgot to talk about the string. Well, whatever. I tied the frickin' thing down. I told you what I did, and I did that. So, whatever. I might tighten it up a little bit. How about that? Anyway, cheers. Have yourself a wonderful Friday night. Thanks for hanging out here with me this evening. If you like what you see and you want to hang out and chat more, I'm on Twitch a lot. Probably more than I should be, but addictions are addictions, man. What can you say? Have a good one. Cheers. Good night.